This wasn't a conversation. This wasn't a sit-down. This wasn't even an argument. This was a detonation. Two women who've survived scandals, marriages, reality TV, betrayals, and fame finally came face to face. And the moment Yandy walked in, Rasheeda already knew. Today is the day everything breaks. What you're about to hear isn't gossip. It's not backstage chatter. This was a public confrontation, raw, unfiltered, and decades in the making. A collision of pride, anger, respect, jealousy, betrayal, and truth. This is the entire story. Picture this. It's a public place. No cameras staged. No producers calling for retakes. Just real tension, real history, real emotions. Yandy walks in first. Not with a smile. Not with softness. But with a determination in her step that tells you. She's not here to play games. She sits down and looks at Rasheeda. Yandy, I'm glad you decided to show up. I've been here for a while. You've had a lot to say, so I'm here. The tone? Sharp. Cutting. Confident. But Rasheeda doesn't flinch. Doesn't blink. She shoots right back. Rasheeda, you said I have a lot to say? No, sweetheart, I heard you had a lot to say. So guess what? I'm here too. 2 sentences in. And already the air is electric. Both women came armed with receipts, anger, and a whole lot of history. Rasheeda wastes no time. She accuses Yandy of running her mouth on podcasts, talking about her marriage to Kirk, and stirring the pot. Rasheeda, you almost can't stop talking about me and Kirk. Podcast interview. Wherever you go, it's my marriage coming out your mouth. Yandy doesn't deny the podcast, but she does deny the intention. Yandy, girl, I did 1 podcast. Not 10. Not 20. 1. And everything I said was the truth. This is the moment Rasheeda leans in. Rasheeda, what truth? Yandy, the truth you said yourself. Boom. That's like throwing gasoline on a lit grill. Because Rasheeda hears one word, truth, and suddenly, every old wound, every rumor, every public embarrassment, every cheating headline surrounding Kirk rushes to the surface. This wasn't about a podcast anymore. This was personal. The temperature rises. Voices start overlapping. Questions turn to accusations. And Yandy throws the first verbal punch. Yandy, are we here to talk like grown women? Or are you gonna act like you on that weak little show you do? Rasheeda's eyebrows drop. Her tone hardens. Rasheeda, I walked in here thinking I'd talk to a grown woman. But it feels like I'm talking to somebody on a house phone that ain't even plugged in. Translation. You're fake. You're pretending. You don't even know what's real. This insult lands heavy. Because now both women have stopped talking to each other. And started talking at each other. Once it shifts to marriage, everything changes. Rasheeda claims Yandy. Doesn't have peace. Doesn't stand on her word. Keeps discussing things that are none of her business. Then comes Rasheeda's most emotional line. Rasheeda, you sit around and laugh. Laugh while you bleed out. It's embarrassing. For the first time, Rasheeda isn't throwing insults. She's showing pain. Years of public humiliation. Baby drama. Cheating rumors. Internet dragging. These weren't just stories for her. They were scars. And now she feels Yandy is picking at them. Yandy can see that weakness. And she doesn't hold back. Yandy snaps. Not lightly. Not politely. But viciously. Yandy, you want to talk about pain? You want to talk about embarrassment? You want to talk about marriage? Girl, that's your problem. Not mine. Then she hits her with the infamous line. Yandy, I don't want the piece of paper you got. In other words, I don't want your marriage. Or your problems. Or your drama. Then Yandy brings up the thing Rasheeda never once publicly discussed. Yandy, your husband had to swab your baby. The table shakes metaphorically. Because now this is not a disagreement. It's a demolition. Rasheeda's marriage, already a sensitive topic, has just been ripped open in public. And she reacts exactly how you'd expect from a woman who's been holding it in for years. Rasheeda fires back with accusations. Rasheeda, you are obsessed with me. Obsessed with my marriage. Obsessed with my life. But Yandy doubles down. Yandy, girl, you are the one pressed. You probably got a Google alert on my name. This line hits different because it's both funny and disrespectful. It paints Rasheeda as insecure, jealous, and watching Yandy's every move. Whether true or not, the image is enough to fuel the fire. Rasheeda's face says everything. She won't let that slide. Now it becomes a street fight. Without fists, just words. Rasheeda claims Yandy has skeletons too. You're pleading the fifth here. You're pleading the fifth there. What about those tapes? What about those receipts? Yandy laughs it off. And the laugh is what sets Rasheeda off even more. Because there's nothing more frustrating than fighting someone who's laughing while you're burning. Rasheeda starts mocking Yandy's looks, jewelry, and business. Rasheeda, you got fake jewelry. You mock my business. You mock my hustle. You're low. Insults are flying fast now, like two people trying to empty the entire clip before the other one does. This next line? This one changes the whole tone. Yandy throws one of the most devastating drags of the entire encounter. Yandy, girl, your show got cancelled. I came in and ate you up. Me and my husband, we increased ratings. Everybody knows who the king and queen of love and hip-hop is. That wasn't an insult. That was an attack. Because Rasheeda has always prided herself on being an OG, a franchise pillar. And Yandy basically said, "You're irrelevant. You're outdated. I replaced you." You can see Rasheeda's patience evaporate. She's no longer trying to win this. She's trying to survive it. At this point, the argument gets spiritual. Yandy calls Rasheeda a demon. Not petty. Not jealous. Not insecure. A demon. That's not just shade. That's an exorcism-level insult. Rasheeda tries to brush it off, but you can hear the hurt. She comes back with, "You got the wrong hat. Wrong city. Wrong attitude. And we've officially moved from marriage to business, to cheating, to demons, to hats. This is no longer about anything logical. This is about who can hurt the other more." The peak moment is when Yandy says, "None of this has anything to do with you. Stay out of my business." Rasheeda freezes. You can almost see her soul leave her body for a second. Because to Rasheeda, this is the ultimate disrespect. She repeats the statement in disbelief. "Me? Stay out of your business? I don't even talk about your business." Her voice cracks. Not out of fear, but out of pure shock. Years of loyalty, friendship, shared experiences, industry respect, thrown away in one sentence. She ends with the final blow. "Rasheeda, what you've done is disgraceful, disgusting. Stay away from me." That's it. The friendship, whatever it was, is finished. They walk away. And the public place that once held two women trying to talk it out now holds the ashes of a relationship that never stood a chance. This wasn't just an argument. This wasn't just two women clashing. This was years of pressure building in silence. To truly understand why this confrontation blew up so violently, you need to understand the psychology behind both women. Yandy's psychology. Yandy is someone who built her career on being confident, prides herself on control, loves to win in public, hates being challenged, hates being underestimated, is triggered by disrespect. Whenever she feels someone is questioning her integrity, her intelligence, or her accomplishments, she doesn't get defensive, she goes on the attack. If you listen closely in this argument, Yandy's strategy is clear. Heavy checkmark, flip the blame. Heavy checkmark, hit where it hurts most. Heavy checkmark, shake the other person's confidence. Heavy checkmark, stay loud, stay fast, stay dominant. Heavy checkmark, never show weakness. Heavy checkmark, never apologize. Heavy checkmark, always win the power position. Yandy is not fighting Rasheeda. She's fighting dominance itself. That's her psychology. Rasheeda's psychology. Rasheeda is very different. She's someone who internalizes pain, bottles emotions, avoids conflict, stays composed, hides embarrassment, hates being made a fool of, values image deeply. Rasheeda is the type who believes, if I don't talk about my pain, maybe it will go away. So when someone, especially another woman, uses her marriage, her husband, or her motherhood as a weapon, it hits a deeply personal wound. And when she feels someone is trying to embarrass her in public, That's her biggest trigger. Her voice gets sharper. Her tone gets colder. Her logic gets emotional. And her defensive walls shoot straight up. That's why her insults weren't as fast as Yandy's. But they were filled with hurt. She wasn't trying to destroy Yandy. She was trying to defend herself. Let's be honest. Both women have had their marriages dragged publicly. Both have dealt with cheating rumors. Both have been scrutinized. Both have been mocked online. Both have had to defend their husbands. So why did this blow up? Because marriage is their most sensitive point. When Yandy says, "You're embarrassed. You were crying while laughing. Your husband swabbed your baby," she is ripping open wounds Rasheeda worked years to hide. And when Rasheeda fires back, "Your man doesn't even like you. You keep lying. You're fake. You plead the fifth. You mock other women." She's ripping open Yandy's image, her confidence, her reputation, her public persona. This isn't marriage talk. This is identity attack. And when identity is attacked, people fight like they're fighting for survival. Let's break down the deeper meaning behind some of the most explosive lines said during the fight. White heavy checkmark, you don't stand on 10. Rasheeda is saying, "You're not real. You don't stand firm. You don't keep your word." This is a direct attack on Yandy's character. White heavy checkmark, your dusty ass ain't nobody to run from. Here Rasheeda is saying, "You're not intimidating. You're not powerful. You're not a threat." This is meant to break Yandy's confidence. White heavy checkmark, run back to London and jump on that ride. A sarcastic jab implying Yandy follows trends, not morals. White heavy checkmark, fake jewelry. This is deeper than it looks. She's saying, you present a lifestyle that isn't real. That's a direct hit to Yandy's brand. White heavy checkmark, you plead the fifth. This suggests Yandy hides things, avoids accountability, and lies to protect herself. White heavy checkmark, you're a demon. This isn't just an insult. It's a spiritual assassination. Calling someone a demon means you're toxic, you're dangerous, you're morally corrupt. This hit shook Rasheeda. White heavy checkmark, your show got cancelled. This is not just shade. It's an attack on Rasheeda's career, relevance, and legacy. Each insult wasn't random. It was targeted, personal, strategic, asterisk, asterisk. This wasn't a fight. It was psychological warfare. One of the funniest yet deepest moments is when Rasheeda says, "That's not an Atlanta hat. That's the Mad Hat. You're not Atlanta." This line is hilarious on the surface. But symbolically, she's saying, you don't belong here. You're pretending. You're an outsider. You're not authentic. And authenticity is everything in reality TV culture. So Yandy wearing an A hat in Atlanta is more than clothing. It's a challenge. And Rasheeda attacked it like, no ma'am. Not today. Not with me. This small, petty moment holds huge emotional weight. This is the line that ended everything. When Yandy tells Rasheeda, none of this concerns you. Stay out my business. It wasn't just disrespectful. It was deliberate. Why? Because Rasheeda had been defending herself the entire fight. She was reacting, not provoking. So when Yandy tries to turn the situation around and act like Rasheeda is inserting herself, it rewrites the entire narrative. And Rasheeda shatters. Her voice changes. Her eyes widen. Her tone trembles. She repeats it. Me? Stay out of your business. I don't even talk about your business. This is shock. Disbelief. Hurt. Betrayal. This is the emotional climax of the confrontation. Because now Rasheeda isn't angry at Yandy. She's done with her. And from that moment on, every word Rasheeda says is final. You're disgraceful. You're disgusting. Stay away from me. It's over. Everything is over. To understand why things exploded, we have to go back. Because this wasn't random. This wasn't sudden. This wasn't one podcast. Here are the deep reasons that fueled this war. Both women are major figures on love and hip-hop. They fight for screen time. They fight for influence. They fight for narrative control. They fight for audience loyalty. This creates silent tension over the years. Yandy and Rasheeda have always been compared. Who handles cheating better? Who is stronger? Whose marriage is real? Who forgave more? Who looks happier? These comparisons breed resentment. Both women need to maintain a strong woman image. So when one sees the other talking about her personal life, it feels like an attack on her brand. People around them talk. Bloggers talk. Fans talk. Miscommunications grow. Assumptions grow. Ego grows. When Yandy mentioned anything about Rasheeda's marriage publicly, it opened a wound Rasheeda had stitched shut. That was the spark. Everything else was fuel. This confrontation isn't just drama. It has real consequences. Let's break down what it means. For Rasheeda, this damages her emotional stability, her confidence in friendships, her public perception as strong, her marriage image, her patience with the industry. She walks away shaken because she wasn't trying to fight. She was trying to defend herself, and she lost a friend in the process. For Yandy, this damages her reputation, her professional persona, her credibility, her friendships within the cast, her moral image. People already see Yandy as someone who speaks too boldly. This argument amplifies that times 10. She walks away looking powerful, but also dangerous. Let's recap the final scene visually. Rasheeda is yelling, "Check on your kids. Work on your life. Fix yourself." Yandy is yelling, "You're jealous. You're pressed. You mock everyone." Two women, no longer speaking, no longer listening, just releasing years of pain. As they walk away from each other, the air is thick. The tension is raw. The energy is fractured. Nothing is resolved. Everything is destroyed. There is no handshake, no apology, no understanding. Just a broken connection, a broken friendship, a broken moment in time. People will debate. Rasheeda went too far. No, Yandy started it. No, Rasheeda shouldn't be sensitive. No, Yandy shouldn't have brought up the baby. Here's the truth. Both women were hurt before the conversation even began. And hurt people attack. They don't talk. They don't listen. They don't negotiate. Yandy's ego triggered. Rasheeda's pain triggered. Put them together? Explosion. Narrator. So this is the full story of the explosive, public confrontation between Yandy and Rasheeda. A clash built on years of silence, jealousy, misunderstanding, pain, pride, and public pressure. Two women who came to talk and ended up breaking something that may never be repaired again. Now it's your turn. Who do you think crossed the line? Who is wrong? And is there any chance these two can fix this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And make sure you hit the like button, because we're just getting started.